Okay, welcome everyone. Himanshu, Kritisudha, Neha, Pratiksha, Prerna, Rajesh, Rashmi, Saurabh, Suhani, Swapnil, Utkarsh, and Neelam. Welcome to the Sunday debate number 28. I'm very excited to hear everyone on this very special issue we have chosen today. We are almost 12, 13 people here, and I know few more will come. Let them come. Let them come. We'll start now. We have waited for them for 5 minutes, so we are now going to start. Also, till I introduce the topic to you, in that time you can write in chat box about your side you're going to take, or whether you are going to speak or not. If you're a listener, you just type in chat box so that I can know. If you know the motion, otherwise I'll tell you. So it's about today's debate is about a bill that seeks to fix 21 years as the uniform age of marriage for women and men. This bill has been introduced in Lok Sabha. On Tuesday, Union Minister Smriti Irani termed this move as a decisive step in country's history. So, according to her, this is a historical uh, bill, and this house also supports this bill. This house says that increasing the minimum age of women to 21 will empower them actually. So, but yeah, there are different views over this. That's why this debate is here, because few say that uh, the girl or the woman has to, we should give them the right to decide whether they want to marry or not. So it's like we are interrupting their autonomy. On the other hand, Mrs. Irani says that 7% of the girls aged between 15 to 18 years are found to be pregnant, and nearly 23% of the girls were married before the age of 18 years. It's it's important to bring down the incidence of teenage pregnancies, which are only not only harmful for women's overall health, but also result in more miscarriages and stillbirths, she said in the statement of objects and reasons of build. Uh, so there are lots of things associated to it, lots of benefits, lots of losses, and more importantly, now this also interrupts some personal laws, and that is also raising some voices. So to just cover everything related to it, all the aspects, we all are here in debate number 28 from the legendary debates. So the motion today, I will repeat, is increasing the minimum age of women to 21 will empower them. This house believes that this step, this move, this decision will eventually empower the women, effectively empower the women. Those of you who believe in the motion, you also believe that yes, this bill will empower women. You have to speak for the motion, and others who think that this will not be very effective in empowering the women, those of you who you have to speak against the motion. So I'll come to everyone and ask you about your motion, your side of. Himanshu, will you speak today?
Yes, Shivans, I will speak.
Okay, what side?
I am in the motion.
Okay, you believe in the motion.
Shivans,
Perfect.
first of all,
Kriti
tell me
Sudha, will
my
you speak? What side would you take?
Shivan, Shivans,
Yeah,
my voice is clear na today.
yeah, it's clear.
Okay, Shivans.
Kriti Sudha, what side are you going to take?
I'm in the support of the motion.
Okay, you support the motion. Pratiksha, what about you?
Oh, will support the motion.
Okay, Prerna,
Against the motion.
you support the motion.
I am in against the motion. Am I audible?
Okay, you are against the motion, right? Rajesh, what about you?
No, I shall not speak.
Okay, you are a listener here. That's good. That's allowed. Um, Saurabh, would you speak? If yes, what side? What about you, Suhani?
Against the motion.
Okay, you'll speak against the motion. What about you, Swapnil? Would you speak in what side?
Against the motion.
Okay. Utkarsh?
I'm just listener today.
Okay, you're a listener. Neelam, what about you? Would you speak?
Yeah, I'm in against the motion.
Okay, you are against the motion. So I guess Neelam, Swapnil, Suhani, and one more, Prerna. Four will be speaking against the motion, and around four, five will be speaking for the motion. That's perfectly fine. So let's start. Let's see who want to comes first. Little rules are there. Obviously, the debate will consist of two rounds, round one and round two. In round one, you have 3 minutes. Just put your arguments, put everything there. Nobody's going to restrict you, nobody's going to counter you. All 3 minutes are yours. But in round two, it will be counter questions. So yes, after round one finishes, we'll start the round two. So let's now start the debate. Let's start the round one. You have 3 minutes. Any one of you who would like to start today's debate, particularly for the motion? Anyone who supports the
I will
motion?
I will start.
Okay. Okay, Himanshu, great. Take up the opportunity. You have 3 minutes and the timer is on your screen. Go on.
Good evening, all. I am Emotion. Recently, Indian government has passed a bill in the spring session of the parliament to increase the age of marriage of girls from 18 years to 21 years. And this is a good decision taken by the government. But many opposition leaders like Mohammad Basir, Asaduddin Owaisi are opposing this bill. As obviously telling that 18 years can choose a PM, be in living relationship and have sexual relationship, but there is the difference between marriage and choosing a PM or having living relationship. After marriage, girls have many responsibility, and at the age of 18 years, a girl is not that much of mature that she can manage a family or husband, etc. etc. This is not only a issue. Early marriage affect their mental as well as physical health. Friends, personally I believe that increment in the age of marriage will lower the maternal mortality rate, improve nutritional level, as well as ensure opportunity to women to pursue higher education and careers. Many young girls don't want to get married, but they are not yet financially independent. They are unable to exercise their right and freedom while still under the yoke of familial and societal pressure. Rising age of marriage will reform patriarchal mindset and improve access to education. As per the National Family Health Survey, 23.3% women aged between 20 to 24 years married before the age of 18, which shows that provision of Child Marriage Act 2006. Parents often use this act to punish their daughters who marry against their wishes or elope to evade forced marriage, domestic abuse, and lack of educational facilities. Hence, within the patriarchal setting, it is more likely that the change in the age limit will increase parents' authority over young adults. A good but not easy way to achieve this stated objective is to take steps to counsel girls on early pregnancies and provide them network to improve their health. The focus must be on creating social awareness about women's sexual and reproductive health and rights, and ensuring girls are not forced to drop out of school or colleges. Thank you. That's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Utkarsh. Thank you, Himanshu. You spoke well, and I hope everybody got convinced from your points. And now I'd like to invite someone who will speak against the motion and against Himanshu.
Can I?
Yeah, Prerna, sure. All the best. 3 minutes.
Am I audible properly? I mean, some network issues.
Yes, you are audible, but your voice is little. It's having some echo or something.
Still, is it?
Well, you are audible. You can speak.
Okay, okay. Nice. So, hello everyone. I am Priya. and today I'm going to present my views against the motion. I was hearing Himanshu very carefully, and I want to tell you that, like the NDA government, you have also simply forgotten the core values. So, as we all know, that the central government has passed the bill to raise the marriageable age for women to 21 years. But let me tell you all that a good intent does not guarantee favorable outcomes. Only coercive laws without wide social support, it failed to deliver their objectives. Friends, there are so many instances and there are so many evidences which are based on our past experiences, and they have revealed the same fact. Now let's talk about the important issues that requires our genuine consideration. So the first point, a woman is considered an adult at the age of 18, right? That we all know. So all laws that apply to adult citizen, including criminal laws, it apply to a woman at the age of 18. The legal age of competence is also recognized as 18. As per the 61st Constitution Amendment Act, it defined the voting age for elections for the Parliament and the Legislative Assemblies as 18 years. As per the Majority Act 1875, the age of majority is 18, and such a person is free to enter into a contract as per the Indian Contract Act 1872. Even the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences 2012 and Juvenile Justice Act 2015, they define a child as someone who is under the age of 18 years. Friends, the right to education, it also defines a child as someone between the age bracket of 6 to 14 years. The Child Labor Amendment Act 2016, it says that a child is someone under the age of 14 and an adolescent is someone who is aged between 14 and 18. Now, why I am just reading out all this law? I want to just highlight this point that between the age of 18 to 21, between this age bracket, a woman is old enough to be sentenced to a jail, to be put into a prison. But according to this proposed bill, she is too young to exercise a choice to get married. Dear friends, this is not women empowerment. Rather, it is women infantilization. Now, let me tell you that what women empowerment is. We need to understand the true meaning of this term. It means women's control over financial, social, human, and intellectual resources in our society. This is the true meaning of women empowerment. Now, what I believe is that this bill effectively will illegalize the self choice made by millions of women. It's against the principle of autonomy in matters of personal choice, and it will increase the patriarchal mindset. Can I take more time? Because I have some relevant points to ponder, if you allow.
Okay, take 30 seconds, let's say.
Am I audible?
Yes, Prerna, you are audible. Take 30 more seconds if you want.
Okay, sure. Friends, okay, now let me tell you that what is the main problem and why the cases of child marriages are happening mostly in the rural background and especially in the minority section. So poverty is the main cause. What I want to say, lack of education infrastructure, employment opportunities, these are the primary reason, and that is why maximum dropouts are taking place. The latest example that we have seen in the case of the pandemic itself. Now, in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, what we all have observed is that there is, raising incidences of child marriages in Rajasthan. So, several reports, even I was going through a research paper to understand this entire issue. What I have found is that there is a direct connect between economic distress and the social consequences. It's directly related to the political theory of karmas that talk about the base and superstructure. Second thing, there is a need to increase the access to education, to increase the skill development, employment opportunities, the education. These are the core areas where the government need to work upon. And one more thing I want to tell you, the irrationality that the NDA government is just proposing. It's saying the draconian law which was passed by, not passed, but just it was proposed by UP government related to population control. Friends, we say that laws are mainly framed for majority, right? So, what the mean age of marriage that the National Family Health Survey report itself says? It 22.1 years. So, that trend, if itself they are showing that the marriageable age is increasing, then why we need stringent laws to enforce the same? And the government want to target infant mortality rate, maternal mortality
Okay,
rate.
got it, Prerna. Got it. So, uh, yeah, we heard you and we saw that you have so much to speak today against the motion. And you'll get time in round two as well. We'll hear you again, and you spoke well. So you tried to convince everyone that 21 is not an age of maturity. A girl of 20, a girl of 19 is also similarly mature, and so.
Okay, sure.
Now, Kimanshu has spoken and Prerna has spoken. Now, someone who will oppose Prerna and support Himanshu, who will support the motion.
Shivansh,
Next,
can
who
I
would
go?
like to speak?
Can I speak?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
3 minutes. You have 3 minutes.
Yeah, okay. So the timer will start first, then I'll go, right? Okay. So today, hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are, Pratiksha. Go on.
Okay. So, friends, today I'll be talking in support of the motion that how this bill helps to empower women. It helps them in a several ways, and the first one is by giving them a legal aid. We know that we live in a patriarchal system in which girls sometimes have no say in the major decisions taken in their life, which their brothers or their fathers take on their behalf. This bill will empower them, will give them a chance to say no if they are coerced into a marriage. And if a person is found guilty of forcing not just a girl but any minor into such marriage, then they will be charged by cognizable and non-bailable offense. Cognizable offenses in which you can be taken under custody immediately. They do not require any arrest warrant for you. Secondly, this will widen the scope for girls to pursue higher education. We know that till 18 years we barely complete our 12th standard, which in India is considered under schooling, and it is a well accepted opinion that college is where a child socializes, learns, and grows more, where it gets exposed, where he or she gets the exposure. So this law will give them a time period of 3 years to pursue their higher education, and after that they can take a sensible and a more calculated decision as to what they want to do with their life. Thirdly, it will empower them by breaking the stereotypes and reducing the gender disparity. The stereotype that a girl matures earlier than a boy or she becomes responsible earlier than a boy is totally nonsense. Maturity is more of an individualistic thing and it should not be based on gender. And similarly, legal framework should not be based on such prejudices. Fourth, it addresses the other social aspects like MMR and IMR, that is maternal mortality rate and infant mortality rate. So if a girl who is 21 years old is definitely much more physically stronger, emotionally stronger to carry a baby as compared to a girl who is 18 years old. And fifth, and the most important aspect according to me, is that this bill will bring an immediate impact in the society. Now I know the opponents of this bill will say that government should instead of sloshing legal restrictions on the people, they should work on something more substantial like education or infrastructure. But the truth about such policies is that sometimes it takes more than a decade to show some noticeable change in the society. But the restrictive law, as for example this one, it will immediately empower the women or the girls between the age of 18 to 21 to say no to such marriages and focus on themselves. So, to conclude, rather than adding any new points, I would like to reiterate all the objectives that this bill will serve to empower women. First of all, give them a legal aid. Second, widen the scope to pursue higher education. Third, it will break the stereotype and reduce gender disparity. Fourth, address the social issues like MMR and IMR. Fifth, it will bring an immediate impact in the society. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prerna. You spoke really well. It was your first debate, and I will like
Pratiksha.
to appreciate. Sorry, sorry. And what did I say?
Prerna.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So Pratiksha, yeah. So you ended with a conclusion, and that was really nice, and you went point wise. I will want everybody copies this from you. Also, the previously Prerna spoke. She referred to the previous speaker. That is also desirable from all the debaters. That whenever you are speaking on any position, you have to continue the flow. You have to refer to your previous speakers who have spoken before, and that will be, how will become better debaters. So let's invite the next one who will speak against the motion and against Pratiksha.
May I?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Suhani. So it's three girls in a row. Sure, welcome. You have 3 minutes.
Okay. So, hello friends. I'm in the against of the motion that increasing the minimum age of marriage for women to 21 will empower them. So, I believe that it can't. Why? I'm going to give you the reasons. The first one is the very first one reason is, as Prerna has already told you, that 18 is widely regarded as the age of adulthood, and this bill would restrict the right of already adult women to decide about their life. The second reason is that, according to a study, 88% of girls who have done child marriage belongs to very poor family, which proves that age is not a that barrier in the education of the woman than the money. Also, even in this 2021, so many child marriages have been recorded, which raises a question on the implementation of the laws. Are not these laws only meant to be good in the eyes of the citizens? As Pratiksha has said that 21 is the mature for any girl and 18 is not. So I want to tell her that according to science, 18 or after is the perfect age for fertility, and and there is no such significant change in the body of the woman in just 2 years from 18 to 21. So 18 is the perfect age for marriage too, and fertility too. And the fifth reason is that those people who are saying that there is their body is not mature, teenage, there is a teenage marriage. So I want to tell them that nowadays, even at a 5 year child, a 5 year child also know about the reproduction system. So nowadays, a maturity age is, I'm talking about the mental maturity age, is reduced, has been reduced now. And also the fifth reason is that, would the society accept this law? This is a very genuine question, because we all know that we have laws regarding to dowry too. But what is happening? Even the administrators and politicians are breaking these laws, and it is not a crime in the eyes of conservative Indian society. So what about that? Also, the sixth reason is, it is very genuine reason, and I know many would be think it would be political, but it's very genuine, that those people sitting in the parliament who are talking about equality and welfare of the women, they should know that the girls want equality, not for just marriage, but for more in opportunities and equal respect in the society and in every field. Why don't they provide equality in the parliament first? Then should discuss in the smooth water regarding to that, regarding to what to do, what not to do for the girls. Why they are not passing that bill to provide reservation for the women in the parliament? This is also a question. It would also, for the welfare of the women, for the equality of the women, it will also ensure that, why they are not taking, why, or just to do it, would that effectively, would we see the effective of this bill? At last, I want to just say that for empowering the women, we need to more focus on the safety of the women more than the age of the marriage, so that we could see the effective outcome of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Suhani. You spoke really well, and it was heated, and you convinced everyone that you doubt the effectiveness of this bill and making just another law. Making a law can be good, but will it be effective? Actually, this is always doubtful. So thank you for speaking. You also did well. Now let's see who is next.
Can I?
Okay, Kritisudha. Right. So you will support the motion.
Yes, I'm supporting the motion. So
Okay, you have
my
3 minutes.
what I believe is the increasing the minimum age of women of marriage for 21 will empower them. First, first of all, I would be liking that I would point out that what are the oppositions are saying. They are saying that maturity age can be maturity, the person of 18-year-old can vote and so and cannot marry. So first of all, the education. I would like to talk about education. That at 21, a minimum person can graduate. The secondly, the girl sitting in small village is also knowing about equality. The secondly, the financial topics are also there. If there's so much of financial issues, why are you forcing your girl to marry? Just put that investment in education and let her be to go out and let her help in working. That would be an empowerment too. Not her marrying her at age 18 would not be a solution for a financial issue. Now, I would like to represent some political parties' thoughts over this bill. The Muslim party leaders said that this rule will it will be difficult to control women if they do not get married in their teenage. This was the legit statement I read in newspaper, Dainik Bhaskar and The Hindu. Now, moving forward, the, some political parties also say that were the statement given that the voting system, and I would like to say that women empowerment uh, if women empowerment means that having a financial stand for herself, how she can get a financial stand for herself if she's not educated properly? Because the now the I have there are the people who said that people said I'm going bilingual now, that एक बार 18 की होने दो फिर इसकी शादी कर देंगे. This is the sentences I have heard by people and my neighbor too. This is a regressive and conservative society, and if the law is binding them, it could be a more helpful for them. And now I would be concluding now because of the time is less, and I would like to speak in second round that it will empower them in many ways. That if the basic education is completed, because nowadays women know to take stand for herself, and this law can help them. Thank you.
Next, can I?
Yeah, sure, Swapnil. Thank you, Kritisudha. Spoke really well. You made so many points, and also I would like to ask you. You said एक बार 18 की हो जाने दो फिर शादी कर देंगे. So will you be like okay with एक बार 21 की हो जाने दो फिर शादी कर देंगे?
The thing is कि अगर एक बार 21 की होने दो शादी कर देंगे, that is also wrong. अगर उस लड़की को शादी नहीं
Yeah,
करनी है तो
obviously, that's
आप
what I'm
उसको
saying.
फोर्स नहीं कर सकते. तो
So
18
वो
की
तो
आप
21 पे भी गलत ही रहेगा, and that will stay.
गलत, दैट्स द पॉइंट कि 21 पे एजुकेशन तो पूरी हो जाएगी ना. 18 पे द थिंग इज बेसिक एजुकेशन नहीं हो गया. इफ द गर्ल्स गेट एक बार उसकी एजुकेशन पूरी हो गई, सो द थिंग इज शी नो एजुकेशन पूरी हो गई, उसकी अगर एजुकेशन पूरी हो गई तो फिर आई थिंक कि वो अपने लिए स्टैंड लेगी और आगे बढ़ेगी. और अगर कोई 21 से भी शादी कर लेती है तो दैट्स नॉट द पॉइंट, इट्स हर चॉइस. बिकॉज आप जाके देखेंगे 18 की जो
Right.
लड़कियां हैं वो
We'll
उनको
go in
प्रॉब्लम होती
details
है.
in round two. Yeah. Kritisudha, we'll hear you in round two, and I know it will be very heated. So let's just finish round one fast. Yeah. Next is Swapnil. He will speak against the motion. Swapnil, you have 3 minutes. All the best.
Yeah, thank you, Shivans. I'm just against the motion, and very well spoke by Prerna and Suhani in against the motion. So I would like to start with the point that if a girl can choose the Prime Minister of India as the age of 18, a girl living in relationship as the age of 18, and there is lots of law like the PASCO Act 2012, Juvenile Justice Act 2015 define a child as someone under the age of 18. So why a girl cannot marry as age of 18? And my second point is, if we are just our government is just limited a particular age, means like a 21 for the marriage, means he just give pressure to the girls and just give the pressure of a family to marry at 21. If some girls wanted to marry as the age of 18, if 18 is a genuine age, then I think there is no problem to marry as the age of 18. And there are the few data also, like according to the National Family Health Survey report, 23.3% of the women, means every fourth woman, surveyed as the age of group of 20 to 24 was married before the age of 18 year. So even we have the right to protection of right to child marriage act 2006. We make the law, we formed, our government formed the law in 2006, but we are not able to just uh, stop the child marriage rate. So uh, according to me, restrict means make a particular age like a 21 year, it not be genuine for a girl. And also we know that mostly people in India are living in rural areas, and we know the condition of our rural areas, that if a particular family have a girl, so it is a big responsibility for the family that to marry it earlier. So 18 is a genuine age for a family to marry a girl. And if truly our government wanted to just empower the girls and respecting their reproductive rights, so it must provide the basic education for the girl child. It must provide the career council. It's take the guarantee of the safety issue at public places and the public transport. If we, if our government, if we peoples are done some type of important work, means if we are talking about in future safety issues of the girls, so it will be very helpful for the empowering a woman. And uh, some students are also talking about the maturity. So I would like to tell you, according to 1929 child marriage restraint act, that a girl mature before boys, according to scientific, and as well as it was defined in restriction act 1929. So I think it is not genuine to increasing the age of a girl from 18 to 21 for the marriage. And last, I have very less time. So last, I would like to tell you, if we really wanted to empower a girl, so we must focus on the basic education at the rural and poor level. And we if we focus on the education and basic necessity and on the safety measures, then we will save our girl from the sexual violence. We will save our girl from the domestic violence. And this will be very beneficial for our girl and for our future, for our country's future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Swapnil. You spoke well, and uh, you kind of said that the government is running away from so many of its responsibilities and opportunities where it can empower the women. But just introducing this bill, this will not be very effective in empowering the women. So thank you, everyone, all the speakers. I just want to know, is there anyone left to speak, or we shall go to round two? Is there anyone who wants his or her 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Neha and Neelam, two more girls are there. Okay, so we are also empowering girls. We are seeing that girls are dominating these days in the debates. Neha and Neelam, who would like to start? I mean, who would be first and
Uh,
second? What is your side, Neha?
Against the motion.
Okay, against the motion. And what is your side, Neelam?
Against.
You both are against the motion. So we saw four girls today, Neha, Neelam, Suhani, and Prerna, who are against this motion. Okay. Okay, let's hear Neha first and then Neelam.
Okay. So can I start?
Yes, Neha,
Okay.
all the
So
best. You have 3 minutes.
good evening, everyone. This is Neha, and I am against the motion. The government's decision to raise the legal age of marriage for women from 18 to 21 is well intentioned. The cabinet cleared the move after a task force set up to examine matters of motherhood, maternal mortality rate, and improvement of nutrition. Suggested that a change in the minimum age of marriage would help empower women. But the point is that whether the bill will prove effective in empowering women, in my opinion, not. I think this bill will be required much more. Why? First thing is that the ineffective implementation of education, and I emphasize more on education as well. According to the State of the World Report 2020, in India, 51% of young women with no education, and 47 of those with only a primary education had marriage by age 18, compared to 29% of young women with a secondary education and only 4% with post secondary education. Even the marriage age at 18 was set in 1978, but child marriage started to decline only in the 1990s when the government stressed primary education of the girl child and took measures to reduce poverty. So, is it possible with only 29% of young women with a secondary education and only 4% with a secondary post-secondary education will be affected? I think no. And as Prerna and Swapnil also told that yes, this will be directly affected rural women more than urban women because of lack of higher education, lack of safety and security, no proper infrastructure there. Expert also noted that 70% of early marriage took place in deprived communities such as SCs, STs, and said the law will be simply push these marriages underground instead of preventing them. And after this if this will be implemented, so I think most of the youth become like a lawbreaker. Then second thing is that as the main motive of this bill, which is headed by Jaitley Committee, it will help to improve the health of motherhood. That is good. But here, if we scrutinize the thing, so we find that the literacy level are highly correlated with the health status of the population. We take the example of Kerala, Gujarat, Punjab, Tamil Nadu. Here the literacy rate is much high and IMR, MMR is very less. How? Because of the proper implementation of education. And in present scenario, almost every state's women get ready for marrying after the age of 21 and above. So this bill will not give much impact on the urban but on the rural women. So, and the last, I just want to say that government must take concrete steps to really empower women if they are truly in charge of their own lives through affordable education, meaningful and decent employment opportunities. So they will be able to make better decision about whether, when, and whom to marry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Neha. Uh, so I'm just expecting that all of you are noting the points where you're going to counter question the speakers in round two. So because that will make it fun when you note the points and you just uh, okay. So and yes, Neha, you spoke well. You talked about different things, which I'm sure people will point out and ask you further. Before moving to round two, we have a last speaker, I think, of this house left, which is Neelam Pandey. Neelam, let's hear you.
Okay, hello to all. Good evening. I believe that the increasing age marriage of women will not be effective for women empowerment. I believe that for the empowerment of women, the first thing is the societal change. When societal change firstly should be changed toward women, and women should be treated as equal as men. So here it is the education which can change the scenario. So education should be mandatory, not for women only, but also for all. And women should be given equal opportunity in jobs and be given equal wages as men. As well as government needs to give financial aid for the higher education of women. So these are the factors which is matter in women empowerment. And if we talk about this provision in the perspective of bill, so this bill looking less oriented for women empowerment, but it is looking the way of decreasing country's population, as I think. Because for the prevention of a child marriage, already there is child marriage prohibition act 2006 there. So it's a need to implementation of that act. And this bill claims that maternal mortality rate will be decreased, and this will also beneficial for the women health, and it women can be able to complete their higher education. But the main problem here, how it will be implemented in the huge population of India. And there are many data which is related to this, like the Times of India reported that child marriage rates in India have fallen by 46% between 2005 and 9, and the maternal mortality death has also been decreased. So how can we say that the age of 18 is the impediment of taking higher education of girls? But we can say that with the time and with the uh, coming of new generation, education, it is the education which because of which we can see the changes in the in fallen of child marriage and fallen of infertility. So, and I want to give one another thing, which is the disadvantage of this bill. And if any parents is not able to we can see in our society that sometimes if any parents are not able to provide the higher education because of so it was seen that after marriage of girls have achieved their goals and have able to complete their education. So, and I want to conclude my points that the place laws, education promoting schemes should be governed so that one can take right decisions for themselves and for their health and nutrition. So when girl will have enough opportunity to get it, that marriage will be prevent. And thank you.
Okay, Neelam, actually your voice is also breaking. We heard you for the 3 minutes, and uh, we can see that we all have so many concerns and so many opinions about how are we going to empower the women. And we talked about lots of things. We talked about their education, their health, and obviously their will to marry, and so many points we have talked so far. Now in this round two, I'm hoping that no speaker is left right now, so that we can proceed to round two. Is there anyone who is left? Okay, so let's move to round two since no one is left. Now, I expect that you all have noted down the questions. You are going to fire on the opposition, and here you have to work in teams. Those who are supporting the motion and those who are opposing it, you have to work in team. So if somebody fires a question to you, if that person is not very comfortable in answering that, a teammate can obviously help. So it is going to be fun, really. Uh, uh, in chat box, Pratiksha, you have written sure very confidently. So let's start from you.
Yeah. So my first question is for Swapnil. Okay. Swapnil, you advocated that the difference in the marriageable age, that is 18 and 21, you justified it by saying that in 1929 there was this research held in which it was they hold that the girls scientifically they concluded that girls get mature faster than or earlier than boys. First of all, more than so many years have passed. Okay, from 1921, more than 90 years have passed. So is there a guarantee that girls truly mature earlier than boys? I mean, is it necessary that every girl matures faster than boy? Is there a guarantee?
According to, it is not a guarantee, but if you see according to our science, then everyone is studied in our biology in 10th and 11th standard that every girl mature faster than a boys. Everyone is studied it.
But Swapnil, it can also be said that not every girl matures fast, that it can vary individually, right? And if it does vary individually, then that particular girl is wronged. Also, you should agree that generation to generation we are evolving, so there is a very good chance that whatever was true 90 years ago, it might not be true even today. So why is this disparity of age of this marriageable legal age to marry, that is 18 and 21? Don't you think we should conduct fresh studies and say more conclusively?
Yeah, according to me, I'm not talking about individually. It is a genuine that every girl mature earlier than a boys, and uh, we are not talking about the mentally and etc. Means physically, every girl is mature as 15 to 14 year age. It means year old.
And boys doesn't get mature in 15 and 16 years old.
Yeah, they take 1 or 2 more years to get mature.
Why is it so? I really did not read it in any science book.
Friends, I think
I have
we should
read
not
many
talk about.
I have read
Let's
many
forget
science book,
about
and
girls and
I
boys.
think
Yes, Swapnil, you can continue.
Now, okay, so maybe Swapnil is trying to talk about the health and adolescent issues that girls uh, they become sexually mature before the boys do, but maybe Pratiksha is pointing out the maturity of day-to-day life, taking decisions and handling responsibilities and all. Maybe she's not
Um,
going that biological, Swapnil.
Actually, I want to say, I think we are talking about now by the opposition party. I'm saying that you don't know that maturity and responsibility is opposite. The marriage holds responsibility. If a girl's mature early, that doesn't mean that she's eligible to get married. The, the thing is, marriage in India, marriage is not between two people, it's between two families. And mostly the girls leaves her house and go to next second family and have responsibility, and they just have we have so many rituals after marriage which girls have. And this we are over in marriage, we are talking about responsibility. There's responsibility on both men and women, but we everyone know that women have more responsibility after marriage. And I don't think so the person of 25-year-old is taken of responsibility. If you buy a new phone, that's also take a responsibility that it doesn't, I cannot this phone literally run for 2 to 3 years without breaking. So responsibility on both men and women, but
Okay, Kritisudha, your voice has cut. Okay, so moving forward, what Kriti Sudha said, let's talk about this. That all the people who are against the bill, do you really believe that at the age of 18, a girl is mature enough and she's old enough to take up so many responsibilities of a different house? She will go to a different house. She will have new relatives all there, and she'll take so many responsibilities. Maybe after 2 3 years, to take a responsibility of a child, which is I think the biggest responsibility. So, do you guys believe that a girl of 18 can do it all? And
I
it's
want to
not her
answer
playing
this.
age. It's not her playing age.
See, if you just see the Indian history, you would get to know that that in the past times, even at the age of 14 and 15, the girls were have they would have to bear the child. But even nowadays, at the 18, now girls have the girls are educated and they have that maturity too, with that the responsible maturity. So I believe that if we talk about the maturity, then 18 girl here is pretty mature for taking care of their babies. And also now she is educated. In the past time they were not educated too, but also they were bearing their child. But I think now, I think 18 is the perfect time.
And I want to say that it's not only about marriage. We have many women like Razia Sultan, Prabhavati Gupta. They were, very good in administration. And India is also a signatory to the resolution which is adopted by, United Nations General Assembly. And it also recommend 18 as the minimum age of competence. So it's not about girls and boys. It's about the age, particularly.
And I would like to add something that uh, let's talk about some of developed and developing country. Let's talk about the US. Let's talk about some other developed country of Europe. Each and every means mostly developed and developing country where the age of marriage is 18. So I think 18 is perfect age for the marriage.
Yeah, Swapnil, I have a just
And
perfect reply.
And means making laws, and the marriage age of 18 is another thing. When there will be no laws, then everyone will be free. It's depend upon them, either they are marriage getting marriage or not, or they are involved in getting education or other things. So
So,
they will be free.
so on what Swapnil said, that I would want to reply you that rather than comparing ourselves with European countries, isn't it more cogent to compare ourselves with
not
Asian
not
countries?
not not only European countries. I would like to tell you, means you can check also that there are most countries, most African country and most Asian country, even the Middle East, means Gulfian country, where the age of marriage is 18. I'm not just talking about only European and North American and South American countries. It's with Russia and Africa also, Asia with Russia.
Yeah, just Swapnil, just let me complete, okay? So as you said that most of the Asian countries, so I have a data of some of the Asian countries with me here. In China, that is the legal age of marriage without parental or judicially consent. That is the legal age to marry, okay, when we get old. So in China, for males it is 22, female it is 20. In Indonesia it is 21 for both. In Hong Kong it is 21 for both. In Malaysia it is 21 for both. Philippines 21 for both. Singapore 21 for both. Thailand 20 for both. Taiwan 20 for both. Now, these are the countries which are nearer to India. And I'm not going to talk about the Stan countries, because they are much more, they are guided by religion. So they consider religion their supreme power. So according to that, they are making their laws. But apart from that, the countries which are nearer us, or which have some cultural, racial, or demographical similarities, in all of those countries, you'll majorly see that the legal age to marry is either 21, and it is same for both girls and boys. Okay, it is either 21 or 20. So what Indian government has done now is nothing unparalleled or uncommon, isn't it? Also, building upon
And
what Suhani said, yeah, please continue.
you continue, no problem.
Am I
Also
audible?
on,
I want to say
yeah,
something on.
yeah, Nilima, you're audible.
Yeah, there are. I want to tell you that there are 146 countries where marriage is before 15 is also allowed in before with the consent of their parents. So what about them? And
So
there are
that is,
majorities of countries, 158 countries allowed the marriages of 18.
Neelam, with
And
the,
we should also see the literacy rate of that country, of those countries and our country. In our country, 60% of the person will live in a rural area, and they have a loss of they have a poverty. They don't have a ability to get their children daughter educate. So if they don't have these things, so what they do in that? So I think first of all, before apart from these things, government must take care of the education and try to create a strict implementation of education rather than these things, because when the ecosystem will be created, then it will be automatic. Even in 1978, when the age was increased to 18, so when it is effective in 1990s, when the primary education was stressed by the government. So first of all, we need to this thing.
Neha, as you rightly said, that it is because of poverty and it is because of lack of money and lack of education, right? Uh, so that's why we need to raise.
Pratisha, I also add
I
one
want
thing
to
here, that it is not much affected to the urban people, because urban people, women are so know that we are also many people who live in an urban area, they don't get impacted by this law. Much people who are affected by this law, those are who live in a rural area. And don't you think that this would increase criminalizing in the child marriage act?
Yeah, Neha,
see.
agreed. Uh,
Just one point, Pratiksha.
yeah, go.
See, uh, we should think that we are not here just to talk about the marriage of the woman. We are here to talk about the empowering the woman. So I want to raise one question here. Would that just 2 years would effectively have that in the area of empowering the woman? There is effectiveness of this bill, because we have even dowry prevention bill also we have. Is this implementing in the society? Would the society implement it? Would the society do not think about the distinctions between the age of girls and boys?
Neha, Suhani, you people have told mentioned it very rightly that is society going to accept it or not, because it is a patriarchal society and women don't usually get to say what they want to do. So this will give them a legal aid. If they want to say no to a marriage, they can. Also, Neha, you said that urban people will not be affected by it. Right? It is specifically meant for rural population, because there they think that if they do not have money to teach their child to educate their child, it's good to marry them off. Is it the right way? Is it the right approach? At least
I
if
But
the
don't
girl
Pratiksha, just
wants to
tell me
stand
one
up for
thing. Just
herself.
tell me one thing. See,
but
those
but
people.
only give the food, and there is no ability to cook the food. So how is it possible that that person can cook the food? Like if in a rural area, if there is no infrastructure, no education, so how can they? If girl said that no, I first of all, girl didn't say, the girl cannot say, because we know that there is no infrastructure. So how can we do this?
Just those people who are in favor, just answer this question, that how many marriages happen in which the girl's age is girl is elder than the boy? Because in our conservative society, we always see that the girl is either equal or less than a boy,
Yeah,
right?
it
so
is because
so
our
if so
government is
see
addressing it in the
See
same way,
Pratiksha,
right?
if she would be 18, right? If she would be 18, she would have more choices for the marriage. And also those it's especially for those who are poor, because those people who are very those people who are very well balanced economically, so they automatically don't marry at the age of 18. They, because nowadays 25 marriage or at 25 and 26 is very common thing for those. But what about those who are very poor? They had no choice for marry, they had no choice for marriage, and they also have very less options. So if the boys, they have a boy at 21, so they need, and their girl is 18, so they can marry. But what about if the boy is 22 and the girl is 21? Oh, sorry, the boy is 21 and the girl is 22. Then they don't have that much choices. So if the girl would be married at the less age, she would have more choices for marriage. That's it.
Okay, it's about choices, right? Okay, I would talk about the sex ratio of our country. We already have so many boys, so there's not about choice. Okay, and if a girl will not marry at 18, the education is the thing. And there was a point that in the first round said by someone that mm, that after marriage they can also pursue their education. Okay, we are talking about conservative society over here, where the people are financially weak, and now she will go in another family. They do not even
See,
know
Pratisha,
her
the
properly.
practical life is far more different than the ratios.
So, Suhani, okay, let me quote a few
Okay, yeah,
research
just
over
go
here.
ahead.
Kriti Suja, just a minute, okay, just a minute. According to the few research, it is said that out of every 10 household where the girl is married, 8 girls do not study, do not continue their study after they are married, and only one of them starts earning or doing a job who is already educated. Their education is stopped after they get married, and it is a research. I'm not saying I'm just not
Exactly.
Pratiksha,
creating it here.
I also have a research, and it is just opposing it. You are saying that, or that we all have said that this bill particularly seek to increase female, labor force participation. So let me tell you that this is not directly linked to the age of marriage. I have the data of PLFS. It was conducted in 2018 and 19, and it shows that up to 20 years of age, labor force participation of married women, it is similar, if not higher than the unmarried women. So there is no any distinction whether she is married or unmarried. That doesn't make a difference, even in the labor force participation, and it's the
It's
credible
not in
source.
labor force part. It's not about labor force participation. It's
Also
also
about
about education,
education,
and
and also
yeah, and
highlighting
mature.
education and
Yeah.
dropouts. Exactly.
And guys, I think let's think about the what is the ground reality. Means in 2006, the Protection of Right to Child Marriage Act was implemented by the government. But what happened? 23.3% women between the age of the 20 to 24 married earlier at the age of 18. So the ground reality in India is very different.
The main thing is that rather than we implement and focusing on the main target education, we just move around, round. Just that's all. Rather, we don't. I think it is not needed to increase the age of. Rather than this, if we implement.
more effectively the schemes which are also in the in the government scheme. So it would be much effected rather than this.
Exactly.
Okay.
For if our Pratiksha, if our government, if our country just wanted to empower the women, so our basic priority must be on based of the education. If we are able to provide the basic education to the girl child at the local level, at the rural level, so it will be very beneficial for our country's future as well as for the girl future.
Swapnil,
Okay,
do
how
you think
it
it
will
is
be?
possible in
Can I?
is it just a minute, is it possible to implement this and to see changes within a year or within 2 years? What you people are saying, I totally agreed, and I've mentioned this in my speech, the section 3 minute section as well, that it is that it's very substantial that you work for education, you work for employment. That is very true, but will that bring about any immediate change or what? I'm not saying that this bill individually will bring any change in the society, but it will give girls an option to say no to the forced marriage. Where you people are saying that girls do not get because they are married off because of poverty, that means they do not have say in the society. It will give them a say in the society, also a legal framework to support them.
But don't you
Pratiksha,
think we need more focus on the safety
Pratiksha,
of the ones in
Wait
the
a minute.
increasing.
marriage age?
Suhani,
I
wait a
think
minute. Uh,
okay.
Pratiksha, you think that just increasing the age of a girl marriage from 18 to 21, it would be a very revolutionary change for the girls?
It will
She
be a
just
chance
said
for the
that it
girls.
would be a it
Yeah,
would
it
be a
will be possible.
contribution.
Yeah, it will be a
I just
contribution.
want to,
Girls will get a
raise a very
chance.
important
Yes,
question.
and you were saying that she will get education. How she will get education in rural areas? They get married at 18 only, and in rural areas, if they are getting married at 18, not completed a single education, how do you think that they will go in
And
second family and they will
And
get permission
also,
to get
also
married?
Kriti,
That's
Kriti
building
Sudha,
on what Kriti Sudha said,
Kriti Sudha,
it's not
18
on.
year.
how do you imagine that after implementing this bill, rural women get chance to get educate? How is it
Neha, it's
possible?
not only about
actually the
education.
rural women
Empowerment.
have this much
See, do you guys
the
think that
government has
education can be possible without money?
Suhaniya,
Like
let
if
me
they,
finish. Please let me finish here.
we have
It's
this
not only Kriti Sudha, just a minute. It's not only about education here, okay? If a girl is 18 and she says no to marriage, or she gets 3 years more, she can learn new skills. Not only education, handicraft or village folk skills, okay? And after 3 years, at
Pratiksha,
least she will
18.
be
So
mentally.
it should be implemented. It
Pratiksha,
should be
18
available
year
there
is
now, but
proper
it is
enough. 18,
Why?
18 year is proper
why
enough.
it's proper
If a
enough.
girl,
Why is
and
proper enough at
Why
age
it's
of
proper
18
enough,
years?
Swapnil? Seriously, why is it proper
yeah.
enough?
Pradiksha,
I
why
just
not it is
want
I
proper
want
Swapni
enough?
Swapni answer
that
this question
so
first.
you
Why
guys
it's
are
proper
telling
enough?
that she would not learn anything till 18, and only these 2 years, 18 to 21, she would learn every skills. So why not after marriage? After marriage she can also learn that home whatever home thing skills.
We
Yeah.
are living in a very
I
conservative
want to raise
society
one
where
thing here, that don't we want to make a society where after marriage there are lots of scopes for the women, for the men. They can do their jobs, because what is the benefit if we are treating marriage here in a very bad manner, that after getting married the women, all the opportunities will close for the woman. So what is, what would that education do if you educate that woman in that 18 to 21 period? Okay, she's now
the thing
educated,
is,
now
Miss
she's married.
Swapnil,
Shivansh, look,
the
I would
thing
like to.
After
is that
marriage, are there
it's
opportunities for her
not
to use
Shivansh,
her
wants
education
to
as
to go
answer
this
out
your
for
much.
question,
jobs?
we will have
You
to.
have to.
To answer your question, also there is one more point which I will first tell, and after that I'll answer your
We are
question.
not
Yeah,
living in
just a minute, Kriti Sudha, just a minute. Someone said here, I think who was Neha? You talked about Kerala. Mentioned something about Kerala. Okay, so in Kerala the education rate is high. Women are more literate, but their dowry rate is also high. It indicates the culture of a society. Raising the age from 18 to 21, it will first of all point out the culture of the society, that 18 is not the perfect age
but
to marry. That
Pratiksha, the main but I took this because the main motive of this bill to reduce the mortality rate, infant mortality rate and MMR, and this is also very low in Kerala.
Neha, that was what government said, but what we are discussing here is the overall empowerment of women, not only mortality rate or infant mortality rate. That was what it
But
was presented.
Pratiksha,
But
there
it
are
is
lots of
also
state also
related to
like
the
the
bill, so why we are not discussing?
Neha, one second. There is lots of also there are many states like the Bihar, like the Uttar Pradesh, like the Jharkhand, like the Rajasthan, where the literacy rate of women is very less, and the Dowry system are very high, child marriage system are very high. So just don't take the example of the Kerala and just take the whole example. There are
Kerala
much more
tops
states.
every other state. Brother, Kerala tops every other state. Go and look the these rates. Kerala in dowry system, Kerala tops it. Okay, and secondly, yes, I agree. That is the culture of a society, and what we have to point out here. And as he asked very properly that after marriage, all the system or all the opportunity for women do is it that women do not get any opportunity after getting married? That is the culture and the conservativeness of the society which we have to point out here. If we keep this disparity of age, that is girls can get married at 18 and boys can get married at 21, it is fueling that conservative thinking that yes, women do get mature earlier than boys, that they should get married at 18. If they do not have money, then they can marry off the daughter. But when we lift
Okay,
the bar from 18 to 21,
let me Devin, let me raise up a question. Actually, it's a question from so many scholars that this bill, like all the governments have responsibility to show on papers at least and to boast in speeches that we did so much for the women, we did so much for the farmers, we did so much for the businessmen, for this, all the sectors of people. So is not it a political stunt that the government will boast that we did, we passed a law for women empowerment, but actually, as someone in the panel said, that they are running from actual responsibilities of empowering. Like there are things which are more important
Can I answer that?
currently. Yeah, Prerna.
I just want to tell that it's the hypocrisy of the government. See, what the government is saying that they want to intend, or say they just want to decrease the infant mortality rate and the maternal mortality rate and increase the nutrition status, healthier status of women. So I just want to put a question to the NDA government through this platform that if you are so concerned about the health of women, so why are you not, increasing the expenditure for healthcare infrastructure in the budget itself? So that is a very genuine question. Why are you not, the government is just cutting down the fund on public health, they are privatizing the health sector. If you are so concerned, then do that. That would be more practical and pragmatic rather than taking any political instant that we are doing this and that for women.
Also, the few were saying that at the age of 19, a woman goes to a different house, and many a times possibilities are there that she gets exploited there. And if she's 21, so she'll be mature enough, maybe she will handle that exploitation, and at 18 she must not be in a position to handle those exploitation. But the government can't say this, because are we literally allowing the exploitations to go on? Isn't it, where is the law and where is the police then? If a girl of 19 is getting married and she's going to a different home and she's being exploited, uh, maybe sexually, maybe mentally, maybe physically, then where is the police in such a case? So what
Nothing
we
will
are doing, we
change.
are not restricting the police system, but what we are doing is we are saying that okay, we'll not marry a girl at 19, we'll marry her at 21 so that she can handle the exploitations better. We're not going to stop the exploitations, we're not going to give her a legal aid.
Exactly. And even, when it was increased from 16 to 18, the legal age for marriage for girl, nothing was changed in practice. There were so many instances of child marriages still happening. So it will not guarantee that, increasing to it 21 will just stop child marriages and make their
okay, so
situation better.
Prerna, only one question I have after hearing all your sides, that will the society be better without this bill or with this bill? The whatever problem Shivansh, Prerna, you people mentioned, that they are going to persist, and that's true. It may be a political stunt of the government, but if this bill is applied today or tomorrow, will the society be better with it or without it? Simple question, yes or no?
See, Pratiksha, I already told about this, that what about the effect on society?
True,
Is the
considering
society
everything,
separate?
Suhani,
Yeah.
considering every possibility. So it will be a
Yes,
better. It will the society be better with it or without it? Yes or no?
I think without it,
See,
because what we
I
have
see.
observed.
I believe those people who are educated, they already are not getting their daughter married at 18. They already are giving them opportunities at till the 25. I think so.
No,
And
why are you escaping? Why are you guys escaping the question from Pratiksha? She's asking a direct, straightforward question.
Yeah, I just
With
want to
will or
answer
without
that.
will?
I
How
think
would you imagine?
Without will, I
without will,
Without
believe.
will,
because
definitely.
I just want to, elaborate it. Because what we have observed, it's mainly the daughter of poor and vulnerable section. So please do not let them fall in a vicious, cycle of poverty and criminalization, because it will lead to the criminalization of these particular offenses. We need to create awareness, have citizen charters. These are the crucial steps. So without
So
will, I
it will
think it
not
will
even
be.
benefit 1% of the population, 1% of the girl. It is not going to benefit at all.
No, or is it something like it's having so many benefits with some side effects?
Will
Uh,
it will it be hampering more rather
guys,
than doing good?
There's a financially the topic that if family is financially weak, okay, if 18 she is in rural areas, if the family is financially weak, I am questioning the I think Miss Prerna said right over here that if the family is poor, okay, if she 3 years she didn't get married at 18, if they get married, is there okay she get married and the ticket of lottery comes in their house, और व्हाट विल हैपन अगर वो लड़की 18 साल में शादी करके चली जाती है तो क्या हो जाएगा उनका क्या वो 3 साल और चलो रह जाएगी खर्चे बढ़ जाएंगे घर के आई एम जस्ट द थिंग आई एम टेलिंग 18 साल पे शादी अगर आप पुअर अगर ले रहे हो कि अगर कोई फैमिली पुअर है तो 18 साल पे शादी करो 21 साल पे शादी करो या 25 साल पे करो या 30 साल पे करो फैमिली अगर क्या कहेंगे कि अगर प्रोडक्टिविटी उनकी वीक है तो वो पैसे तो आएंगे नहीं और वो क्या कहते हैं कि डाउरी अगर डाउरी का सिस्टम आप कह रहे हो कि खत्म नहीं हो रहा है तो ऑब्वियसली वो रूरल एरिया में रह रहे हैं एंड दे आर नॉट एजुकेटेड सो ऑब्वियसली दे विल गिव डाउरी over in that marriage and police is taking action over and police if police is not taking
you
action
believe dowry is a rural thing? I
sorry
didn't
No.
get it. Dowry is a rural subject, or is it
the thing
universal?
is
Rural, urban, rich, poor, educated, uneducated. Dowry is
the
everywhere.
thing is dowry is not a rural subject but it's happening mostly in rural area. I hope you get the huge difference between them.
So also to answer Prerna's statement, what Prerna said, that it will not bring much impact in the society, or that the people are still engaged in child marriage, even if the 18-year is the threshold, they still marry their children early. So the people who are engaged in child marriage, who are marrying their girls early, as someone said, it is not going to benefit in urban areas. Similarly, it won't impact it. It will do nothing in the rural area as well, who are trying to marry off their daughter before prior to 18 years old. It will benefit only those people who are adherent to 18 years, because the government has set it as a rule that 18 is the legal age and after that you can marry off your child. It will only help, it will only benefit those girls there to say no to it and to take that 3 years and use it the way they want to. Even if they do not get education, they will get experience in these 3 years which will help them in future, as compared to 18. Even if you say scientifically the girls are mature, yeah, okay, maybe girls are matured at the age of 18, but 21 they will at least have some life experience, 3 years of life experience which will benefit them.
Okay,
And
But
what
okay. So,
about
but
last
earlier also
thing.
maturity and
Pratiksha,
responsibility are two different things.
those who are likely to take the benefit, they are still taking the benefit. They are not marrying till the age of 25 or 26. But what about those who want to marry at 18? Don't you think that it is
Exactly.
about their
You're
life, their
really
decision?
underestimating the patriarchy of the society. You think that every girl gets a sit on the table and that she gets to speak about herself, which is not true. Many educated family, they
Definitely,
take decisions for their girls.
even today, there are so many child marriages is happening. So what about that? So after this implementing
So
this law,
that,
those people who are doing this kind of marriages would still do that.
so it will be ineffective. Now, if it is 18 or 21, how is that going to change them or their thinking? If they're marrying the girl before 18, so if it is 18 or 21, what is the difference to them?
I think we all are aware what happened in Rajasthan. What do you think about that?
Yeah, what happened in Rajasthan?
There was child marriages was legal there for quite of a time, and it was like that do child marriage and just registered that, and government did that.
Sorry, I didn't get you. Please repeat.
Yeah, and between the government had agreed for child marriage, I remember. But what were its consequences, good or bad? Please define more.
Definitely it was a bad, definitely. But don't you think that after implementing this law, what would happen? Even those people who are very financially good, they would definitely, still they are not marrying their child at 18, and after that also they would not marry at 18. But what about
So
those
at least, so
who
you
want to marry her child before their death, or if their parents has a bad health issues or something? Then
So
don't you
why
think
should
that
the child suffer
why to
because of
restrict
that? At
why to
least you
restrict
agreed
why
one
to
thing
restrict
that the
their
laws which are
their will?
mad. Listen, at least you agreed to one thing that the laws which was made by the Rajasthan government, it had some impact in the society, that people were adherent to that law. Okay. Secondly, you're saying that if the person is dying early, I mean, why should the child suffer because of that? If you have a bad health, then will you marry your child at the age of
Okay,
11 only
Okay,
because you're having a bad health?
Pratiksha
okay,
and
the bad
Kriti
health.
Sudha and everyone who is supporting right now. Uh, Little question that what if after 2 years the government comes up again in the parliament and says that okay, we want to increase the age to 22. What would be your reaction?
For
Like,
yeah, Shivansh, to
you'll
answer that
support it?
question. No, listen. According
I
to
just want to know
2011 survey,
where this amount 21 comes from. Is it taken from the age of graduation or what? I mean, where
it's
does
a
this 21
majority.
comes?
According to 2011
Because
survey,
if
as
you want
Prerna
to
has
give that
already
girl
mentioned.
some time, that then you can go on extending it. Why to stop on 21? Why not 25?
No, no. Why is 21 is correct? I'll give you the answer to that first of all. As Prerna already mentioned that according to 2011 survey, the average age at which a girl marries is 21.2. I guess. Yeah, it's exactly 21.2. That is the majority of the girls are marrying at the age of 21.2 is what we can consider here. That's why 21 is not wrong because
It's
majority of
22.2.
it's 21.2 and it's 22.7 for urban areas and it is 20.7 for rural areas according to 2011 survey. That's why I think 21 is justified. At the same time, there are many other countries who have legalized 21, and that is also bringing the marriage age of boys and girls as parity. Now, if they want to increase it to 22 or 23 or 24, they will have to give some argument for that. Apparently, whatever argument the government has given, or we have logics to consider them, they are justifying it.
Right, I think we have discussed so far in this 1.5 hours about all the aspects. I would like to take conclusions from everyone. I would request you all to give some concluding lines, one statement, two statement, just from your opinion, and that's how we will end up this debate. So let's start from Kritisada, you alphabetically.
Okay, I still believe that 21 will empower women, and hearing everyone opposition sides points that maturity, the girls get more mature first, then boys. So 18 is good. I'm going to say that maturity and responsibility is two different thing, and I think till 21 the girl gets educated. So that's the main point, and our society is not that forward that girl can get education after it. If today the girls get education and then she get married, that will be helpful in future. So the thing is, this law can help empowering women today, and effectively in future. We should just see front, not backside. That's my conclusion.
Right, right. Uh, how do you think, Neha?
I think I'm also believe that this will also require so much reformation as we all discuss here. So this is my conclusion.
Okay, okay. Yes, Gyan Chand, we couldn't hear you throughout the debate. I think you were trying to speak something, but we couldn't hear you. I don't know the reason. You are still not audible. You are trying to speak. You just figure it out. And we have some more people here. Neelam, Pratiksha. Neelam, you first.
Yeah, I would say that this type of bill is not so relevant in the direction of a women empowerment, and I think it is very useless to criminalize the marriage age of 18. And yeah, I will say that governments need to promote the girls education as well, needs to provide financial aids for getting the higher education for girls, so that child marriage can be prevent.
Okay,
Am
right.
I audible now,
Pratiksha?
Shivans?
Yes, yes, again, you're audible now.
Okay, may I speak something?
Yeah, sure. Quick remark because
Okay,
it's
so
8:30.
I couldn't speak throughout the debate. Sorry, I don't know why, but if I am audible now, that then first of all, I would like to answer your question, what you asked few minutes earlier. That why 21, why not 24 or 25? Then I would like to answer that a few months back, a committee was formed from central government, and it had to decide the right age for marriage of women, and it decided 21. And the reason it give that is that for the mental and physical well-being, girls should deliver their first children at the age of 21. So that's why 21. In China, I think it's 20, but Indian government is giving 1 year extra for development of girls. So that's why it is 21. And other thing that I would like to add, Swapnil said that in countries like USA, the legal age for marriage of women is 18, and same for men. But I would like to say that in some states, even of USA like Mississippi, the legal age for marriage is now 21, and there is huge debate in USA too for increasing the legal age for marriage of women from 18 to 21. And this debate is not limited to USA. Now in Britain and in more Western countries, people are now asking, now saying to raise the legal age for women and men both to 21. And another thing that I would like to ask to some of the speaker I heard, I could hear they said that if women can choose prime minister at 18, then why not life partner? Politician like OSC
Yeah,
also said that.
Gyan, I respect your views, but actually, we are standing at the last of the moment of debate, so we
Yes,
need to pack up because this
but
was under
let
recording.
me let me finish just Simans, just 1 minute. Let me finish. Then many people argued that if they can choose choose prime minister at 18, then why not partner at 18? Then I would like to answer that you can choose prime minister at 18, well, but you can replace him or her after every 5 years. But could you replace your life partner? I think no. That's the point. And you could choose your life partner at 18, very good. But and you could vote at 18, very good, but you can't contest election at 18, either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha or Vidhan Sabha, any election. Legal age is 25 minimum. So I think that's the answer.
Okay, thank you, Gyan. Hopefully, we'll hear you in details the next debate. Also, Pratiksha and Gyan, you were new to the debate, so welcome, and we'll expect that you come every day. And okay, we are taking quick remarks. So, Pratiksha and Prerna, just one statement, conclusion.
So I think it is a welcomed decision of the government what they have taken, and it will definitely help in empowering the women in several different ways, because we are not living in ancient times anymore. So the priority of women and even men have changed from marriage to something more on making their career, and that this will, I think, addresses it in a very good way, and that's it.
Right, right, right. What about you, Prerna?
Yeah, I just want to say that merely increasing marriageable age, it will not work. I just want to quote Malala Yousafzai because my opinion are in sync with her that only education is the key to women empowerment. And I also believe that one child, one book, one pen, and one teacher, it can change the whole world. Thank you.
Okay. What about you, Swapnil?
Belted by Prerna, that at last I would like to tell you that only the education is the key that can change the life of women, that can empower the women. And if we will able to educate the women, means girl, then we will help our girl from the sexual violence, from the domestic violence. So I think According to me, education is the key for the golden future of women. Thank you.
Okay, that's true. Definitely, we have to focus on the education. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for coming. It's 8:30. We have to pack up. Thank you so much. We had a great debate. Thank you.